The $3,000 necklace sat in my shopping cart like a guilty conscience, mocking me through the jewelry store's pristine glass display. $3,000 for a woman who'd posted another dull night with my boyfriend on Instagram just 12 hours ago. I'm Martin Sloan, 32, software engineer, apparently the human equivalent of watching paint dry. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Sir, would you like to complete this purchase? The saleswoman's smile was professionally patient, the kind reserved for customers having second thoughts about financially crippling themselves for love. I stared at the delicate platinum chain, imagining it around Lily's neck as she posed for another 1,000 selfies. My girlfriend of 3 years, the Instagram influencer who'd turned our relationship into content and found it lacking. 29 years old, 90,000 followers, and zero appreciation for the guy who paid her rent while she built her brand. Actually, let me think about it, I said, stepping away from the counter. The saleswoman's smile flickered like a dying light bulb. My phone buzzed, a FaceTime notification from Lily's best friend Becca. I almost declined, but something made me answer. Martin, oh my God, I didn't mean to call you. Becca's face filled the screen, flushed and giggling. Behind her I could see Lily's apartment. Our apartment, technically, since I paid for it. Where's Lily? I asked. She's, Becca glanced over her shoulder. She's in the shower. We were just talking about what? Becca's eyes went wide. In the background I heard Lily's voice, muffled but clear enough. Max says he's never had someone so uninhibited. God, Becca, Martin would die if he knew half the things I do when I'm actually turned on. The phone went silent. Becca had hung up, but the damage was done. Max Landon, the photographer she'd been collaborating with for the past 2 months. The guy with the perfectly sculpted jawline and the fake woke Instagram captions about authentic connections and living your truth. I canceled the necklace purchase and walked out of the store, my hand shaking slightly. Not from heartbreak. That would come later. From rage. Instead of going home, I drove to the travel agency downtown. If Lily wanted excitement, if she was so bored with our dull nights, then she could have all the excitement she wanted, without me. I need a luxury resort booking, I told the agent. Single occupancy. Tonight, if possible. 2 hours later, I was checked into the Ocean View Resort, 3 hours north of the city. I'd left Lily a note. Gone for the weekend, needed some space to think. We'll talk Monday. I didn't mention the necklace. I didn't mention Max. I just disappeared. The resort was everything our relationship wasn't. Peaceful, honest, straightforward. I sat by the pool with a drink I couldn't pronounce and watched the sunset paint the sky in shades of gold and crimson. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. Then I made the mistake of checking Instagram. Lily's story was a series of videos from some influencer event downtown. Her laugh was brighter than I'd heard it in months, her smile more genuine than any she'd given me recently. And there, in the background of every shot, was Max. His hand on her waist, his lips close to her ear, his camera capturing her in ways that had nothing to do with professional photography. My phone exploded with notifications. Our mutual friend Dave had tagged me in a photo from the same event. The caption read, "Looks like love is in the air." The photo showed Lily and Max kissing, not a friendly peck. A full, passionate, I've been waiting for this moment kiss. The kind of kiss she used to give me back when I wasn't boring. The comments were already rolling in. Wait, isn't Lily with that software guy? Martin's gonna be pissed. This is so messy I can't look away. Someone's about to get dumped. My phone rang. Dave. Dude, I'm so sorry, he said before I could even say hello. I had no idea. I just saw them and thought, how long? I asked. What? How long have they been together? Dave was quiet for a moment. Martin, I don't know if I should... Dave, how long? Tasha thinks it's been going on for about 2 months, maybe longer. Everyone kind of suspected, but nobody wanted to say anything. Everyone knew. Everyone except the dull boyfriend paying the bills. I hung up and stared at the photo until my eyes burned. Then I did something I'd never done before in my life. I got mean. I screenshot the photo and reposted it to my own Instagram with a caption, "So glad I saved $3,000 on a necklace for someone who clearly values honesty. Hope the collaboration is worth it." Within minutes, my phone was buzzing nonstop. Comments, DMs, calls, texts. The influencer community was small and gossipy, and scandal spread faster than wildfire. But the real damage came from an unexpected source, Lily's sponsors. Apparently, her brand was built on being the authentic girlfriend type. Relationship goals, couple content, the girl next door who happened to look like a model. Her sponsorship contracts had morality clauses, and public infidelity wasn't exactly on brand for someone selling engagement rings and couples retreats. By morning, 3 major sponsors had dropped her. Her comments section was a war zone, and my phone had 47 missed calls from Lily. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I extended my resort stay for another week and watched her world burn from a safe distance. The voicemail started apologetic. "Martin, baby, I can explain everything. It's not what it looks like. Please call me back." By day 3, they'd turned desperate. "Martin, you're destroying my career. This is my livelihood. How can you be so cruel?" By day 5, they were pure venom. "You pathetic loser. You think ruining my life makes you less boring? You're still the same dull nobody you always were." That last voicemail was interesting. I saved it. On day 6, Lily's PR agent Miranda called me directly. "Martin, we need to talk," she said, her voice tight with professional strain. "This public shaming campaign has to stop. Lily's lost over half her sponsors and 20,000 followers. Her mental health is suffering." "Her mental health," I repeated. "What about mine, Miranda? What about the mental health of the guy who just found out his girlfriend's been cheating for months while I paid her rent and bought her gifts? Look, I understand you're hurt, but do you? Do you really understand? Because from where I'm sitting, it seems like everyone knew except me. Everyone was perfectly happy to let the dull guy keep paying the bills while his girlfriend played house with her photographer." Miranda sighed. "What do you want, Martin? Money? An apology? What will it take to make this stop?" "I want the truth," I said. "All of it. No more lies, no more manipulation, no more treating me like I'm too stupid to notice what's happening in my own relationship." "And if she tells you the truth?" "Then maybe I'll consider taking down the post." It was a lie, of course. I had no intention of letting this go. But Miranda didn't need to know that. The call came that evening. Lily, finally ready to talk. "Martin, please just listen to me," she said, her voice hoarse from crying. Or performing. With Lily, it was hard to tell the difference. "I'm listening. It started as just work. Max needed models for his portfolio, and I needed content. It was purely professional." "When did it stop being professional?" A pause. "About 6 weeks ago." "Before or after you told me you loved me at Sarah's wedding?" Another pause, longer this time. "After." Lie. I could hear it in her voice. "Try again, Lily." "Martin, I don't see why the exact timeline—" "Because I'm recording this conversation, and I'd prefer you tell the truth the first time." The silence stretched for nearly a minute. "Before," she whispered finally. "It was before Sarah's wedding." "How long before? A month? Maybe more?" So she'd been cheating for at least 10 weeks. Probably longer. "Why?" I asked. "You really want to know?" "I really want to know." Lily took a shaky breath. "Because you're safe, Martin. You're reliable and steady, and you pay the bills, and you never surprise me. But Max makes me feel alive. He sees me as more than just a pretty face taking pictures. He challenges me, excites me, makes me want to be better." "And what do I make you want to be?" "Comfortable," she said, and there it was. The truth, finally. "You make me want to be comfortable, and I hate being comfortable. I hate our quiet nights, and your dad jokes, and the way you fold laundry like it's a meditation. I hate that you're satisfied with ordinary when I want extraordinary. So why didn't you just break up with me?" Another pause. When she spoke again, her voice was smaller, more honest than I'd heard it in months. "Because you pay for everything. The apartment, the car, my phone, groceries, utilities. My influencer income is inconsistent, and Max doesn't have any money. I needed you to keep paying the bills while I figured out how to make things work with him." There it was, the real truth. She'd been using me as a financial safety net while she explored her options. The boring boyfriend, good enough to pay rent, but not good enough to be faithful to. "Thank you," I said. "Thank you for finally being honest. It's refreshing." I hung up and immediately uploaded the recording to a private cloud folder. Then I called my lawyer. Not for anything dramatic. I wasn't planning to sue anyone or press charges. I just wanted to know my rights regarding the apartment lease, the car loan, and the various bills I'd been paying. Turned out, since everything was in my name, I could cut off her access whenever I wanted. I waited until Monday morning. Lily would be at her regular coffee shop, the one where she filmed her Monday motivation content. She'd be surrounded by her usual crowd of wannabe influencers and hangers-on, all of them eager to be associated with her brand. At exactly 10 a.m., I canceled her credit card. At 10:15, I removed her from my phone plan. At 10:30, I contacted the apartment complex and had her removed from the lease. By 11 a.m., Lily was calling me from someone else's phone, screaming, "You bastard! You cut off my cards. My phone." "I stopped paying for services I'm not using," I said calmly. "Seems reasonable." "This is financial abuse." "No, Lily. Financial abuse is what you did to me. Using me to pay your bills while you cheated. What I'm doing is called having self-respect. I have nowhere to go. You have Max. Max lives with 3 roommates in a studio apartment. Sounds cozy, very authentic. Your followers will love the content." The next few days were chaos. Lily's friends started reaching out, some to apologize, others to attack me for being vindictive and cruel. I saved every message, every voicemail, every angry text. The most interesting call came from Tasha, Lily's former best friend. "Martin, I owe you an apology," she said. "I should have told you what was happening months ago." "Why didn't you?" "Because I'm a coward, and because Lily convinced us all that you were boring and didn't deserve better. But watching her these past few weeks, God, she's shown her true colors. The way she talks about you, the things she's willing to do to get her lifestyle back, I can't be friends with someone like that." "What kinds of things?" Tasha was quiet for a moment. "She's been DMing your coworkers, trying to get dirt on you. She contacted your boss, claiming you stole company property. She even tried to convince Dave to lie about you cheating first." "She what?" "She wanted to flip the narrative, make you the bad guy. Dave told her to go to hell, but Martin, she's not done. She's desperate and angry, and she's going to keep trying to destroy you." That night, I made a decision. If Lily wanted to play dirty, if she wanted to try to destroy my reputation and career, then the gloves were coming off. I'd been playing defense, reacting to her moves. Time to go on offense. I started with social media. Not my own accounts. I barely used them. But I had friends in the tech community. People who understood data analysis and digital forensics. Within a week, we'd compiled a comprehensive report on Lily's social media engagement. Turns out, nearly 60% of her followers were bots. Her engagement rates were artificially inflated through purchase likes and comments. Several of her candid photos were actually staged promotional shots. Her entire brand was built on lies. I packaged this information into a neat little presentation and sent it to every sponsor she had left, along with the recording of her admitting to using me for financial support while cheating. The exodus was swift and brutal. Within 48 hours, Lily had lost every remaining sponsorship deal. Her follower count plummeted as the bot accounts were purged. Her comment sections became graveyards of deleted promotional posts. But I wasn't done. Max had been suspiciously quiet through all of this, probably hoping to avoid getting caught in the crossfire. That was about to change. I hired a private investigator. Nothing illegal, just public records research. Turned out, Max had quite the history. 3 previous relationships with influencers, all of which had ended with him moving on to someone with a bigger following. He'd been sued twice for breach of contract by modeling agencies. And most interestingly, he was currently dating 2 other women besides Lily, both of whom thought they were exclusive. I created an anonymous Instagram account and started following all 3 women. Then I began liking photos that showed Max with each of them, making sure the others would see. Within days, they'd figured out what was happening. The confrontation was spectacular. All 3 women showed up at Max's studio at the same time, purely by coincidence. The screaming match that followed was loud enough that someone called the police for a noise complaint. Lily, discovering she was just one of 3 side pieces, had what could generously be called a public breakdown. She live-streamed the entire thing, sobbing and ranting about being betrayed and used. The irony was apparently lost on her. But Max wasn't finished either. Desperate to salvage his reputation, he threw Lily under the bus completely. He gave an interview to a gossip blog claiming that she'd pursued him aggressively, that she'd been the one pushing for the affair, and that she'd told him I was abusive and controlling. The interview included screenshots of their text conversations, including several where Lily mocked me viciously. "Martin's idea of adventure is trying a new flavor of yogurt," read one. "He's like a human sedative," read another. "I fake everything with him. Everything." Reading those texts was like being punched in the stomach repeatedly. But they also gave me the final piece I needed for my ultimate revenge. I waited until the weekend. There was a big influencer event happening downtown, a charity auction that all the local social media personalities attended. Lily would be there, trying to rebuild her image and network with potential new sponsors. I bought a ticket. The venue was packed with beautiful people taking photos of themselves pretending to care about charity. I spotted Lily immediately. She was working the room desperately, trying to charm anyone who would listen. I waited until she was in conversation with a potential sponsor, a local boutique owner who clearly hadn't heard about recent events. Then I approached. "Lily," I said pleasantly, "how nice to see you." She turned, her face going pale. "Martin, what are you doing here?" "Supporting charity," I said. "You remember charity, right? It's when you help people without expecting anything in return. Novel concept, I know." The boutique owner looked between us, sensing tension. "Oh, I'm sorry," I said to her. "I'm Martin, Lily's ex-boyfriend. You know, the boring one she was cheating on while I paid her rent." Lily's face went red. "Martin, don't what? Don't tell the truth? But I thought you valued authenticity now. Isn't that what your brand is about?" I pulled out my phone and opened the folder with her text screenshots. "Would you like to see what she really thinks about her followers? Or maybe you'd prefer to hear the recording where she admits to using me for money while sleeping with her photographer." The boutique owner backed away slowly, clearly wanting no part of this drama. "You're pathetic," Lily hissed. "This is harassment." "No, Lily. Harassment is what you did when you contacted my boss with false accusations. This is just honesty. You should try it sometime." I raised my voice slightly, making sure nearby conversations would pause to listen. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Lily Sloan, authenticity expert. She'll teach you how to build a brand on fake followers, how to maintain multiple relationships simultaneously, and how to financially manipulate the people who love you. Truly inspiring stuff." The room was starting to stare. Lily grabbed my arm. "Stop it. Please. You're humiliating me." I looked down at her hand on my arm, then back at her face. "Now you know how it feels." I walked away, leaving her standing alone in the middle of the room while whispers followed in my wake. But the real fireworks came later that night. I'd gone home, feeling oddly empty despite my successful public humiliation of Lily. Revenge wasn't as satisfying as I'd hoped. It was necessary, but it didn't heal the hurt or erase the months of lies. Around midnight, I heard someone trying to get into the apartment. My apartment now, since I'd had the locks changed. I looked through the peephole and saw Lily, clearly drunk, fumbling with what looked like lockpicks. I opened the door. "What are you doing, Lily?" She looked up, mascara streaked, dress wrinkled, holding what were definitely lock-picking tools. "I need my things," she slurred. "Your things are in storage. I told you that. I'll give you the address tomorrow." "I need my laptop. It has all my photos, my content, my contacts. Your laptop is in storage, too." "Liar!" She pushed past me into the apartment. "You're keeping it because it has evidence of your abuse." I followed her, pulling out my phone to record. "What evidence of abuse, Lily?" She was tearing through the living room, throwing cushions off the couch, pulling books from shelves. "The way you controlled me, monitored my phone, isolated me from my friends." "I never did any of those things." "You made me dependent on you financially. You asked me to pay your bills, repeatedly." She spun around, fury and desperation making her face ugly. "You destroyed my life, my career, everything I worked for. I exposed your lies. There's a difference. You recorded me without my consent." "In a one-party consent state, which is completely legal." She stared at me, breathing heavily, and I could see the exact moment she realized she had no leverage left. No lies that would work, no manipulation that would stick, no way to paint herself as the victim. "I loved you," she said finally, and for the first time in months, she sounded genuine. "No, you didn't," I replied. "You loved what I could do for you. There's a difference." She started crying then, real tears this time, not the performative kind she used for her followers. "What am I supposed to do now? I have nothing, no money, no career, no friends." "You could try getting a regular job, like most people." "I don't know how to do anything else." "Then learn. You're 29, not 90. You have time to build a real life instead of a fake one." She wiped her nose on her sleeve, looking younger and more vulnerable than I'd seen her in years. "Do you hate me?" I considered the question seriously. "No," I said finally. "I don't hate you. I'm disappointed in you. I'm angry at you. I'm hurt by what you did, but I don't hate you. Can you forgive me?" "Someday, maybe, but not today, and not in the way you want." She nodded, accepting this. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Sure." "When did you know about Max?" "I suspected for weeks, but I knew for sure when Becca accidentally FaceTimed me and I heard you talking about him. The necklace. You were buying me a necklace that day." $3,000 for our anniversary." She closed her eyes. "I'm sorry." "I know you are, but sorry doesn't fix anything." She gathered herself together, wiped her face, and headed for the door. "Lily," I called after her. She turned back. For what it's worth, you were right about one thing. I was boring. I was comfortable and safe and predictable. But you know what? There are women out there who would appreciate that, who would value loyalty and honesty and stability. You just weren't one of them. She opened her mouth to respond, then closed it. What was there to say? After she left, I sat in my quiet apartment and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. My phone buzzed with a text from Dave. Dude, you need to see this. He'd sent me a link to Lily's Instagram, her final post. I need to take a break from social media to focus on my mental health and personal growth. I've made mistakes that hurt people I care about, and I need to do better. Thank you to everyone who supported me. I hope to earn your trust back someday. The comments were a mix of support and mockery, but I found I didn't care either way. I deleted the link without reading them. The next morning, I woke up in my own apartment, in my own bed, with no one to perform for or pretend with. I made coffee the way I liked it, watched the news without commentary, and planned my day without considering anyone else's needs. It was, I realized, the opposite of boring. It was freedom. 3 months later, I ran into Tasha at a coffee shop downtown. She was with a woman I didn't recognize, both of them laughing over something on her phone. Martin, Tasha waved me over. How are you doing? Good, I said, and meant it. Really good. This is my girlfriend, Sarah, she said, introducing the woman beside her. Sarah, this is Martin, the one I told you about. Sarah shook my hand warmly. The software engineer who outsmarted the influencer mafia? I laughed. Is that what you called it? Tasha's been following the whole saga. She says you're like a digital vigilante. I just told the truth, repeatedly and publicly. Have you heard from Lily lately? Tasha asked. No, why? She moved back home with her parents, got a job at a marketing firm in her hometown, deleted all her social media accounts. Good for her. Really? You're not angry she gets to just start over? I considered this. Everyone deserves a chance to start over, even people who hurt us. The question is whether they actually change or just find new ways to be the same person. Tasha smiled. You sound happy. I am happy. Turns out boring isn't the worst thing you can be. Dishonest is worse. Manipulative is worse. Using people is worse. Are you dating anyone? I am, actually. Her name's Jennifer. She's a teacher. She thinks my dad jokes are endearing rather than embarrassing. And she doesn't want to be an influencer? She barely uses social media, says she prefers real life to curated life. Sounds perfect for you. She is. As I walked home that evening, I reflected on the past 6 months, the betrayal, the rage, the elaborate revenge, the public humiliation, the quiet aftermath. Had it been worth it? The revenge part? Probably not. It had felt necessary at the time, but looking back, it was just pain creating more pain. The real victory wasn't destroying Lily's career, or humiliating Max, or exposing their lies to the world. The real victory was discovering that I didn't need to be extraordinary to be worthy of love. I didn't need to be exciting, or dangerous, or unpredictable. I just needed to be honest, kind, and true to myself. Lily had called me boring, like it was the worst insult she could think of. But boring meant stable. Boring meant reliable. Boring meant I showed up, told the truth, and kept my promises. In a world full of people performing authenticity while living lies, maybe boring was actually revolutionary. I pulled out my phone and called Jennifer. Hey, she answered on the second ring. How was your day? Good, I said. Really good. Want to have a dull night in? I'll make dinner and we can watch something mindless on Netflix. Sounds perfect, she said, and I could hear her smiling through the phone. I love our dull nights. Me too. And I meant it.